Hi guys, this is Maya from Inspired Life, and today is my birthday. So I was thinking, what could I share on this day? And I came up with 41 lessons I learned in the past 41 years. Yes, I am currently 41. It feels a little bit surreal for sure. Anyways, here are my 41 lessons that I've learned in life. Let's get to it. Alright, so if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Maya. I'm a holistic transformation coach and a meditation teacher, among other things. I live in Paris, but I'm currently, as you may see, in a different setting. This is my home office back in Croatia, where I'm visiting my family and friends. This is where I used to work before I moved to Paris 6 years ago. So it's exciting to be here and do this video for you guys. This is not in any chronological order or any kind of order of importance, just as the ideas came to me. Lesson number 1 is life is too short to hold a grudge and forgiveness will set you free. One of the greatest lessons I've ever learned is to really not be angry in life. Whenever someone would hurt me, or if I was in a situation where I felt angry with someone for something, I just never thought in the end that it was worth it, because essentially it's really hurting only me. The thing is that anger and resentment ultimately hurts you, not anyone else. So I just decided that I was not gonna spend my whole life in anger, because I wanted to have a happy life. So I learned to forgive, and sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, and it takes more practice, but it's very important and I definitely recommend. Lesson number 2, consistency is key to success. I realized that if you consistently focus on what you want and make the effort, you will definitely get there. So I learned to really appreciate being disciplined and spending a quality of time every single day towards your goals. I manifested so many things because I was persistent. Lesson number 3, you always have a choice to change your life. I had a talk yesterday with a good friend of mine, and she thought that it was too late for her to change her life. And honestly, it is kind of the general vibe in Croatia. You feel you have to do everything according to certain rules in a certain time period, and if you don't, then it's too late. I even thought that it was too late for me to enroll in a jazz academy, which I wanted to do when I was in my late 20s, because that was supposed to happen before. But before, I didn't even know that I wanted to do jazz. So that's my other career, my jazz vocalist career. I mean, I don't regret it because I had an amazing career as a singer, so I have no regrets, but I wish I had known then that it wasn't too late and that you could always do it. I've had friends who went to college even in their 30s. For example, I moved to Paris when I was 35. I had this apartment, amazing apartment. I had my life, I was doing what I wanted, and the thing is, I didn't have to move, honestly, but I wanted to change my life. And I kept doing this over years, and honestly, I love that I get to do so many things in one lifetime. Some people don't need to, don't want to, and that's perfectly fine too. If you have found your calling and if you're happy, go for it. But if you are unhappy and want to change things in your life, I just want you to know that you can always do it. I feel this is a really valuable lesson I like to share. Number 4 is anything is possible if you believe it is. Again, so many examples. We don't have time for all the examples. I think I'm gonna have a full series of the things that I manifested because I believed that they were possible and they were seemingly impossible. I have so many people ask me, how did you do that? They're just amazed or shocked how I managed to achieve some things that seem really incredible. So I'm gonna have to share that in another video, but definitely from my experience, if you believe something is possible, it can be possible. If you believe it's not possible, it won't be possible. It's actually that simple. Number 5, always nurture your inner child. So I was inspired lately. I heard that some of my cousins' daughters think that I am not a serious person, like that, I don't know. It's so weird that people judge so much, and I'm sorry to hear that such young girls in their teens and their 20s are so judgmental already. So this one is for all those people who think I'm not being serious. Let me explain where I'm coming from and why that might seem that is the case. Because I'm nurturing my inner child and I know why it's important. When I started teaching voice lessons, I realized that all of the people that came to my classes, singing lessons, were basically trying to find their true voice, and I realized that their voices have been silenced in some way and told they couldn't do things, they couldn't dream, that their dreams were not valid, their passions were not valid. So I would help them awaken that and feel more true to themselves. And that happens when you're following someone else's path, your parents or the society, that are forcing you to fit into this mold. Maybe you don't feel, I know that I don't fit the mold. I'm not supposed to live in this way. Not every person is meant to do the same thing. We're not robots. We are the same essentially, but the characteristics of our personality are different. And in my opinion, it's wrong to try to fit everyone into the same mold. I believe that it's important that you honor your inner child and what your inner child wants in order to be happy, because that is the goal of life, isn't it? To be happy and joyous. In my 20s, I guess I had that moment when I was thinking maybe, I should be serious. And I tried. I got a job in the office. I studied languages before, English and Polish, and I was working as a translator and a teacher in my 20s right after college. And it was a regular job, like the path that I was supposed to follow. But I was dying. I was dying inside, and I realized that that's not for me. I luckily realized that soon enough, so I quit all that jobs and I realized that I needed to pursue my passions, and that's when I started succeeding and manifesting the impossible. That's when I realized that I always have to remember to be joyous, to be playful, to be curious, and always keep that open heart. I'm not gonna get serious. That's all I'm saying. I'm not recommending that you do that. Remember to have fun, remember to play, remember to be joyous. You won't get sick, you will look fabulous in your 40s, and life is just gonna get better. I'm just saying, okay? Number 6, honor and express your feelings. Again, I learned through coaching the people that come to me are not expressing their feelings or have been judged for their feelings. Maybe, you've been told you have to be strong, you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to express how you're feeling. And again, that's wrong because that creates illness, you guys. You have to really honor how you're feeling and give yourself permission to feel it in the moment and express it in a safe way that is not going to harm anyone, obviously. So not yelling at people, but really honoring how you're feeling. But journaling it or expressing it, talking to a therapist, it needs to be expressed. 7, always be kind. I'm definitely big on this one because, I grew up with a narcissist parent and I learned to communicate in a very bad way very early on. I had to work on it a lot. I realized that for me, it's important that I always try to be kind and gentle with people, and I don't like to express things if they're gonna be hurtful. So I like to work through my issues on my own or with a therapist or in some way with my coach. But I like to always try to be kind. We are all human. Sometimes it slips, but it's just to be more vigilant of how you're expressing yourself. 8, treat others how you'd like to be treated. That's simple. This one was definitely installed in me from my parents. This is definitely a big one. I try to really live by, to make sure that I'm treating others how I would want to be treated, with respect, with kindness, generosity, supportive, all of the things you want to receive from others. 9, all life matters. I believe that everyone deserves happiness. Everyone's wishes matter. So yeah, that's it. Number 10, we don't have control. That's definitely a harder one for me because I am a little bit of a control freak. Not a lot, but I like to know things and I like to feel like I'm in control. I think I'm not the only one here. Probably a lot of people feel the same, but I've definitely learned that you have to allow magic to happen. Oftentimes when I surrender, when I fully trust, the universe surprises me with the most amazing things, and the way things turn out in the end, it just blows me away. So I like to allow miracles to come instead of me trying to figure everything out all the time. So that's actually been quite helpful. 11. Faith and trust make a difference. Again, it's connected with surrender. My first spiritual awakening started when I was around 16, 17, when I started doing yoga and meditation, and I realized that there is a higher consciousness that I believe in. Because I grew up as an atheist, and then I realized I was an agnostic, and then I realized actually I believe in the higher force, in the higher consciousness. Whether you want to call it God or however, that doesn't really matter to me. And having faith in that higher consciousness has helped me so much, and actually I manifested many things because of it. Because I'm not freaking out the whole time, I'm able to shift into surrender and trust very easily, sometimes easier than other times, but definitely helps in life. So faith is a big one for me. 12. So I mentioned treat others how you'd like to be treated, and this one is treat yourself how you'd like to be treated. I often see people having self-destructive patterns, and then they wonder why they cannot be loved. If you don't love yourself, if you're not treating yourself with respect and kindness, you're showing other people how you want to be treated. Let that sink in. It's a big one. I know that in my country, for sure, it's a cultural thing, and maybe as women as well, we are being taught that we shouldn't think of ourselves, that it's a selfish thing or whatever. But honestly, you need to treat yourself with kindness and respect, because that's how you're teaching others how you want to be treated. And that's huge. That's actually something I've been working on quite intensely in the last years, and a lot of my relationships have shifted because of it, because it's more clear to other people how I want to be treated, and if they don't get it, I simply say so. Boundaries, by the way, boundaries are big. I didn't mention that one, but boundaries are also huge, very important to set. Not everyone's empathic, and sometimes you really need to draw that line. Okay, this one is a little bit weird, but so important, I'm gonna try to explain it. So 13, everything is a projection of your subconscious mind. Let's go into the matrix mode. So I kind of figured that out a while back, and honestly, it's been incredibly helpful to go through life in this way, because I don't take things personally. Maybe at the beginning my ego can get hurt, but very soon I drop from that mode and I start looking at the situation, any situation, of what is really happening here. So the way I look at it, any situation really, positive or negative, I would look and see, okay, if this is a projection of my mind, so it's like everything around me is what I'm projecting. My reality is my projection. Whatever I'm seeing outside of myself is something that is within me. So I'm going to look at that and see, okay, what has this caused for me? How does this make me feel? What is it showing me? And then I look within and see, is there something within me that I need to heal? And then I work on it. The moment I shift that belief, this kind of situation or pattern does not occur anymore. It's really powerful, you guys. Just let it sink in, because we often feel like we want to change things from the outside, but it's not how you change things. You can modify a little bit things on the outside in the external world, but in fact, how you're really going to shift it is if you look within. Maybe, I mean, a combination of two can be, but the thing is, like, for me, it helps me shift so many things, and it's really crazy because a lot of the patterns that I've had no longer occur. So if you have that pattern that is reoccurring oftentimes, maybe look at it and see what needs to be healed, and you might need to work on that, because we come with a lot of blockages from other lifetimes and ancestral lineage, so it's really worth looking into. It gets easier, really.